this is it. We are now entering the final stage of the podcast as Scott looks over quickly at the time.
Like, I gotta get out of here.
All right.
Karate chop time. This is the bottom line.
Usually we like to joke that it's either the bottom line or the terrible twos, but since we don't have time, we got to rush through it. We're just going to call it the terrible twos
Bottom line.
and move on.
Bottom line.
Terrible
Okay.
twos, and that's all we
terrible
gotta do.
bottom line.
Yeah, I'll be naming this video the bottom line. So it's called the bottom line. Let's go.
All right. So the terrible twos are the final two questions of the show. And they're the most important, really. They're terrible, but they're important.
But it's the bottom line. So
wait, I just got to make sure everybody sees how unfunny Jen thinks that is.
Oh, I was like, why is my face? Why did it say that you highlighted me? I'm like, what the heck is going on?
All right.
What the F?
So this is it. Final two questions. First question is also question number one, which is on a scale of 1 to 10. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, what would you rate the first episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch Aftermath?
Okay. So after much deliberation, not a whole lot really, but my initial gut feeling after watching, I like to write down all my notes right after watching it, so it's fresh in my head. And I watched it last night, and the score that I gave it is the score that I'm going to give it. And that is the score of, get ready, here it comes, 8.5. Yeah. 8.5. Amazing. I know.
That's big time. That is
big
time.
I did say he was going to be the highest one.
Jen was right on about that one.
Well, you don't know if somebody's going to go higher.
Maybe Scott will give it a 10.
I don't know. I have a feeling though.
Possible.
But
quite possible.
I know that is a high score, but I think it deserves it. I mean, like Ryan mentioned, the writing is fantastic. I thought the characters were well developed. I don't mind the animation. It doesn't distract me at all. I don't think it's bad at all. I wouldn't say that I loved it, but it's good for me. It's fine for me. And it's just, like I said, 75 minutes flew by because I didn't really find myself being distracted like some other people that are on our show right now. And I was able to enjoy the whole thing. So 8.5 it is.
Jen, scale of 1 to 10. Will you go higher than 8.5?
I know you all think I love everything, but I'm going to give it a 5.
Wow. 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Jen's lowest score ever?
It might be. And I think it's because out of the 75 minutes, I blacked out at a few, about at least 20 to 30 minutes of it if you put it all together. So I can't rate that part. So I have to just give 5 for what I saw.
So while we're talking about it, were you like, wait a minute, was that in this episode? I don't even remember that from this episode.
When you're talking about it, it refreshes my memory and stuff. But there's just certain I can't say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed what I watched. I enjoy the parts that stood out for me. And I actually really enjoyed the animation. I love cartoons and all versions of them, and that I loved. When I saw it was a cartoon, I'm like, yes, I love cartoons. But I don't know, a 5, maybe let's go 5.5 because it's between a 5 and a 6. So because the parts that really stood out for me, I enjoyed. And you said, the writing was really good. I liked the part of the animation, but it was just some parts I was just kind of oh wait, I have to go back. I didn't understand. I didn't really watch that part, kind of thing. So that's the only reason why I got a little lower of a score.
I feel like if the show went on another 20 minutes and we just let Jen talk about it, she's going to end up giving it a 9 or a 9.5.
I'm going to go to a 6. No, I'm just kidding. I'm keeping it at 5.5.
Keep talking yourself up.
All right. And Michael, to answer your question, yes, that is the lowest. Before that, her lowest score was Firefly at a 7.5.
Wow.
Which is not a low score. Scott
No,
Baker,
but I actually like Firefly.
Well, 7.5
I thought I would give
is a
it a
good
9.
score.
Yeah, it's too late to change your score for Firefly, though. It's
Damn
not
it.
too late for Bad Batch.
Maybe I read that wrong. Let me check again. But Scott Baker, scale of 1 to 10. What do you give
I'm going to give it since I gave the Clone Wars a 5.5, I'm going to have to give this a 5.45.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was just below the Clone Wars. Yeah. Again,
Right.
it wasn't like I didn't feel it was bad. Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't have anything bad to say about the Bad Batch. Just
the score.
Just didn't grab me. Like, there's nothing like it's not a low score for anything that they did wrong. Just didn't grab me.
That's how I feel exactly.
I just want to be grabbed. That's all.
That's all.
And we like
all part of your dating
we
video.
like to be grabbed when we're watching things.
Yeah.
Ryan, highlight your face.
Confirmed, Jen. You and I both gave Firefly a 7.5, and Bridget gave it an 8. By the way.
Oh wow! I really loved Firefly. So I'm surprised.
Wow.
Okay. So you guys like to be grabbed. This is your dating moments. Okay, Michael.
What Ryan has to say about it.
To answer your question, Michael. Last night when I watched this, and by the way, when I saw it was 75 minutes long a couple days ago, I texted Mike. I was like, oh, what have we done? This thing is 75 minutes long, but we have to do it, because it's kind of an important show and we like Star Wars. But dude, 75, dude, come on. Anyway, but I don't know if I would say it moved quickly, but it moved well, and I was okay with it. And I only checked the time maybe twice, and I did rewind a couple times, but I didn't rewind a couple times because I wasn't paying attention, but more so because I wanted to make sure I got it correct. Like what I thought I heard or what I was putting in the notes, I wanted to make sure I got it right. So I rewound it out of excitement. I was going to give it an 8. And then this morning I was like, calm down, Ryan. Going to give it a 7.5. But today I'm like, you know what? Let's make it a 7.8. Let's do it. Let's lock that in. 7.8.
Wow.
That's that. And it might deserve better. No, I'm knocking it down just a tiny bit because I personally don't like the animation style, but I think the writing's like an 8.5, like around where Michael put the overall score. So the final question is, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of The Bad Batch entitled Aftermath. But now that the podcast is over and you're free to move about the internet or West Hollywood in Scott's case in a couple minutes, would you watch the second episode of this series, Michael?
Well, last night after I watched it, I wrote yes. But now after talking about it, I'm still a yes.
What a lead up.
Okay, yeah. Jen, what about you? Yes or no?
I can't say I'm going to watch more than the second episode, but I'm going to give the second episode a try.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it's going to if it does the same as the first, where I'm not fully into it, it doesn't grab me, then I probably won't keep going. But sometimes when I'm iffy about something, I'll give the second episode a try and then I get hooked. So I'll just give it a try.
I'll tell you, the second episode is only a half hour, less than that, 26 minutes or so.
I'm probably going to like it. Yeah.
Scott Baker out in Hollywood.
I'm going to say there's a non-zero chance that I'll watch more of the show in the next, 10 or 15 years, but who knows? I don't have plans to okay, I got to watch the rest of the show right now, but it's a possibility. Like I said, I could be hard up for some Star Wars content, be like, all right, give the old Bad Batch storyline a try and watch it. But yeah.
But the question is, would you?
Yeah.
Of your own volition, theoretically speaking.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it's possible, but it's possible, but
well, it's either yes or no. We don't have it's possible.
We're looking for yes or no.
Oh shit! I didn't know there's I would say no. No, lock it in. No.
He might go and watch it, like he said with Clone Wars.
Right,
he might say no.
Yeah, might but
no. But the point is, would you after watching this first episode? Would you go watch the second?
Am I compelled to just go and watch the rest of the show?
Right.
No. Okay. That's a stamp it, lock it in. final answer?
Boy, oh boy. I have been really going back and forth. I'm kind of like Scott here, where I'm really unsure if I would, because I'm not really interested in watching this, a show like this. It's just not really, necessarily aimed at me. But it was good. I think more, I'm definitely leaning towards a no, that I would not, because I'm more interested in finding out what happens in the show than I am in actually watching 15 more episodes. But I'm really,
15?
really yeah, I think they said it was like 16 episodes or 13 episodes or something.
Never mind what I said. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's really tough because it's funny because I say I would not, like, I don't really like, as to use Scott's word, I'm not really feeling too compelled to watch it. But for some reason, I think I might anyway, like kind of like with Enchantment or Disenchantment or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say no, that I would not watch the second episode, but for some reason I probably will, maybe, because I did find myself thinking about it afterwards.
Interesting. So yes from Ryan. Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird no. It was a no. It was a no that feels like a yes, but it's because we have to end the show.
I like how I get locked into an answer. But
I was just gonna say Scott had to say yes or no.
I did. I said my official answer is no, even though I feel like I might, so I'm kind of like I'm actually very much like Scott, to where like I'm giving a no, even though I think there's probably a better than 50% chance that I may end up at some point watching the second episode.
But the question is, would you, not will you? So
yeah, and I feel like I feel like I'm taking up too much of everybody's time because I'm so indecisive. So I just got to stick with no. And I feel bad for doing it because they deserve a yes out of me. This is strictly a personal answer, not an objective. Objectively, 8 and yes. Personally, 7.8 and begrudging no. Anyway, that's it, everybody. If you want us to review a show, say WTF Snorks or WTF Gem down below, or WTF Gummy Bears.
Snorks.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Okay.
So I think that's it, right, Michael?
Well, except for we talk about what this podcast was.
Right. This podcast was a bad bitch.
This podcast had very good writing.
This podcast was surprising to me.
This podcast was a bad batch of podcasters. No, I'm just kidding. Great.
All right. So note to self, don't have Scott Baker back on.
Have him on every week. Hey,
I mean, bad like Michael Jackson. Bad.
Hey, somebody with the last name
We're
Baker
bad.
knows something about bad batches, right?
That's true.
Okay. Well, we got to run, everybody. We'll see you next time. Don't forget what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes. By the way, Jen's information will be in the description box below as well. So definitely make sure to follow her. She's tons of fun. Remember what Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to say.
Don't forget to register to be an organ donor so that you can donate your organs to clones. And go ahead and just don't forget to watch the first of things, guys.
Freeze frame.
Nope. He always says that, but then I'm just going to cut it before this part right here. So,
well, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. Thanks. Freeze frame.
All right. Thanks for being on, Scott. Thanks, Jen, for being on, guys.